What is good, people? Sam O'Reilly from Fight Talk. Me and Craig are here to rant. I think is the best word for me personally. I just need to rant because I'm getting sick of this Mayweather Mcgregor shit, mate. Not so much the fight itself. I'm over the fact that fight's been made, but the bullshit from people that has gone with it is just driving me mental.
See how you just tell us how you really feel, mate. Tell us how you open up. Yeah, I think it's fair to say anybody that knows me will know I never had an issue with the fight, like a lot of people did. It never really bothered me that much. I thought, just let it happen. Who really cares? It doesn't really affect me either way. I think a lot of people are being very ignorant towards mixed martial arts. A lot of boxing fans are being ignorant towards mixed martial arts, and also downplaying the ability of Conor McGregor just because he moves a bit different or he warms up a little bit different. And I know it looks a bit weird, but you cannot listen. Everyone's took the piss out of him before, and he starts guys in 13 seconds and blah blah blah. And I know that's not going to happen. I know he's not going to start Mayweather in 13 seconds. But what I'm saying to you is, you just can't read too much into what you see, because you only see what he wants you to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's a great example is the Diaz rematch fight. He was drilling. I remember in one of the open workouts. I can't remember what. It may have been a left kick to the body. He was drilling it a hell of a lot, and he didn't throw one in the fight. It may have been the left uppercut. Actually, I can't remember exactly what shot, but you know, you see what he wants you to see. And yeah, he has a different way of warming up. He believes a lot in movement. He has a movement coach, which I don't think anyone else in the world probably does. But he believes in it, and it got him to be the first ever, two-weight multiple world champion at the same time, rather. But people are just pure ignorant who don't understand the sport of mixed martial arts. Like, obviously, you and me go to a hell of a lot of boxing shows. Our website is a boxing website. We are involved with boxers regularly. So,
Yeah.
Let's make it clear. We are boxing fans, for fuck's sake. There's no hidden agenda for us.
No.
Me personally, I'm an MMA fan too. I've been to, not that many, I've been to a number of MMA events. I've been over to Vegas to watch one, been to Ireland to watch one. I enjoy it as a sport. I think it's a very, very, very different sport from boxing. I know some people don't agree, but I do. I think they're completely different. So, when you hear people who don't watch MMA and don't have any interest in the sport, which is fair enough, you don't have to like the sport. Couldn't care less if people do or don't. But when they start being disrespectful and ignorant to the sport, I have a problem with it, because just because you don't understand something doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that people have to remember is, if anybody's going to get ripped in this fight, or if anybody is going to get slagged off for taking this fight or making this fight or this fight happening, why would you fucking slag off Conor? Mayweather's the one who's branded himself the best ever, 49-0, the best that's ever done it, blah blah, best defensive boxer on the planet. Why is he not the one that's getting the flack? He should be getting most of the flack. And I feel as though Conor's stepping out his comfort zone. He said, fuck it, we'll do boxing, right? Cool. You don't want any horsehair gloves or Mexican gloves? Cool, no worries. 10 ounce, 12 ounce? Cool, no sweat. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, let's go in and have a scrap. And I don't think he's ever claimed that he's a better boxer than Mayweather. I don't think he's ever claimed he's a better boxer than any of these top guys at the elite level, but he's willing to go in there, and I'll tell you right now, he will not get steamrolled. He won't get steamrolled, man. He's not going to go in there and get sparked early. He's not going to go in there and lose every single round horribly. I think he'll win a few of the early rounds, and if he doesn't win them, I think he'll put it on McGregor, and he'll make it kind of reminiscent to a Maidana 1 fight, where he just puts it on him. He's in his face. He doesn't take a backward step, and he just throws a barrage of shots. Now, whether they're the most technically correct shots, I think we can both agree they won't be technically as well executed as a boxer's would be. But anybody that watches MMA, anybody that watched him fight, in particular, Nate Diaz too, when he put Diaz down 3 times, Eddie Alvarez when he punched the fuck out Eddie Alvarez, and Chad Mendes when he cracked Chad Mendes with that left hand. McGregor can punch, man. He can punch. And it might not look the way you learned it when you were in your amateur boxing club, or it might not look the way you like to read about it when you read your subscription of Boxing News. But he can still crack you in the fucking mouth, man.
Yeah. I think there's two sides to it. If you're going to look at the other, like, yeah, you know what? I agree. Mayweather should be the one saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" Everyone seems to just be abusing Conor, like the boxing purists, I'm going to call them, because, you know, they may have been watching boxing for 50 years, and any new sport that is anywhere near similar is just a cheap imitation in their eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
I see room for both sports. I enjoy both sports. The two sides of it, you know, you said, you know, Conor's out of his comfort zone to take this fight. Massively, he is. But there's also the fact that he's had to come to boxing to get this kind of payday. You know, we have to remember that.
Yep.
Because there's no such payday like this. I think one of the highest ever purses was Conor against Diaz. He got a flat 3 million before pay-per-view buys and sponsorships. So he probably made 6, 7, 8 million. And, you know, this is 10 times he'll ever get in the octagon at this stage. So, yeah, he had to come out to get the money. Don't have an issue with that. Let's do it here, let's do it there. I don't give a fuck, let's fight. I ain't got a problem with that. He's got the balls to do it. Should he have been given this opportunity by Floyd Mayweather? You know, Floyd sees money, doesn't he? Floyd's only out for himself. So, you know, the fight's been made now. I'm all well and good with that. So let's get, you know, this is fight week now. We're 3 days away from the fight, 4 days away. So let's get behind it. But I have a serious problem with certain outlets, the way they're going about promoting this fight, and Sky Sports is one of them. And I'll tell you why. I've been going on a bit of a Craig Scott like rampage and tyrant on Twitter today. You know, you are by far the most animalistic motherfucker on Twitter when you get going. So I've been taking a leaf out of your book today. I've been going a little bit in on these people because my biggest issue, right? They won the fight. It's on Sky Sports pay-per-view. They paid the money. That's fair enough. Fair play to them. They're entitled to promote this fight however they see fit. And boy, are they doing it. You know, they've got every Tom, Dick and Harry talking about this fight, which is fair enough. But I don't like that they're trying to tell me about Conor's achievements and this and that. And they're getting facts wrong. They're factually wrong 90% of the time. And they didn't stick their neck out to put UFC, the product, on their channel. But now there's a breakaway star. They want to be all over him and talk about how he did this to Aldo. How about fuck you? How about you should have been there from the start? It just annoys me. I don't know. Listen, they're doing their job. What more are they supposed to do? But I'm just bitching about something that's never going to be any different. But it just frustrates me. Do you know what I mean? At least BT Sport were the ones that give us the product and put it on their platform for Conor to show the UK fans, you know, this breakout star that he is. We wouldn't have known about him if it wasn't for BT Sport. You know, casual fans I'm talking about. So, I don't know. It just does my head in a little bit.
I think it's difficult because since BT Sport has been incorporated or has been a channel, Sky have had the monopoly on boxing. So your counter argument could be BT Sport until this year have done fuck all to give us any boxing. So, you know, I see what you're saying. They're getting on board and they're doing all this and doing all that, but you know, some people would say the opposite as well, that the BT Sport haven't really shown an interest in boxing and now they want to put adverts on every 2 minutes.
Yeah, very true.
So, yeah, I think it's just the factually incorrect thing as well, just to go back to that. I am amazed at how often I watch a Sky broadcast, whether it's a Saturday fight night, whether it's prize fighter, you know, it doesn't really matter what it is, but how many stats they get wrong, man.
Yeah, it's insane.
They just make shit up. I watched one recently and they were like, yeah, he won 3 world titles by Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia, and he said Adrian Broner was a 3-weight world champion by the time he was 22. And I was sitting up at like 2 in the morning and I went, do you know what, man, I'm a bit tired, but I can't let this lie. So I looked it up. He was only a 1-weight world champion by the time he was 22. They just make shit up, man.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's like a... I don't think they're getting stuff wrong because they're trying to involve the Conor thing. But I totally agree with you that considering Eddie wasn't feeling the fight, considering people who present the shows on Sky have been slating the fight, now they're all over it, man. Mm-hmm. They're all over it.
Well, the best example of that is Carl Froch. You know, he works for Sky, so he's snookered. He's told to talk about this fight. He has to talk about the fight. It wasn't long ago he was saying it was a joke of a fight, and now he's in there in the ring with Dan Hardy talking tactics. So,
oh God,
it's difficult because it's his job at the end of the day. But deep down, he knows, and we know, you don't give a fuck, mate. Like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. They're doing their job promoting it. I get that. They're factually incorrect all the time. They're still putting out ridiculous polls on Twitter. These 4 boxers, who would you like to see in the MMA cage? What the fuck is an MMA cage? Like, do you mean the octagon? Why do we want to see boxers in another sport? You don't ask me what fucking rugby players I want to see on the football pitch. It just does my nutting how they decide that these are so close. These sports, they're so close that anyone could do both. Do you know what I mean? And they couldn't be further from the truth. It couldn't be further.
The funny thing is that most 70% of MMA guys could focus training purely boxing for 3 to 6 months, and they could probably come in at like a southern area level, and they might not win, but they would be able to hold their own in a pure straight up boxing match. Whereas any boxer trying to train any of the other disciplines involved in mixed martial arts for 3 to 6 months would get fucking strangled to death or every limb broken. Like, people can't comprehend how different the skill sets are.
I don't think. I think you're right. Until they've ever actually tried it themselves, there's no comparison. You know.
You have no idea, man, and I have to put up with that all the time when I speak to fucking Dean Richardson, that wee prick. He said, I said, Connor's going to sleep Mayweather just for a laugh. He went, I'll sleep you. And I sent him a video of like a judo throw. And he went, oh, grappling friends. But no, I'm only fucking about. Dino obviously knows that there's more involved in that. But people are so narrow-minded, and boxing, as a purist watching boxing, you love it and you appreciate it and you understand the depths and the levels that there are in terms of talent. But those same people who understand all of those things about the levels and the depths of talent in boxing have absolutely zero clue about the level and the depths involved in mixed martial arts. They're not willing to try and learn about it. It's just ignorant, man. It's ignorant.
Yeah, it's very ignorant. But Bob Arum, I think, has said I think that's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen said about MMA was from Bob Arum. Now, he's a boxing promoter in the US with like a massive, I'd say not a voice. He's got a big voice. People listen to him because he's been in boxing for so many years. And what he said about mixed martial arts, that it was just for big white people with tattoos and they were laying on the floor like homosexuals, was his exact words. And
it sounds a bit like Dean Richardson, actually, when you put it like that.
It baffles me, mate. The ignorance of people. Now, you got someone like Joe Rogan, who is a very, very pro mixed martial arts, works for the UFC. I've watched a million of his podcasts lately talking about the fight, and he's never once been disrespectful to any boxer or boxing as a sport. So
yeah.
I don't get the ignorance. I don't get why people feel so strongly about something they know nothing about. That's what I can't get my head around. If you've watched it and given it a go and it's not for you, that's fair enough. But to downplay people, the skills you have to compete is just downright fucking stupid, mate. So
the funny thing about Arum is, this is Bob Arum, who spent the majority of his career being Muhammad Ali's promoter, who ended up becoming involved in a mixed martial arts bout.
Was it a mixed martial arts bout? Didn't he hug a wrestler or something weird?
Nah, he fought Antonio Inoki over in Japan, and Inoki was kicking him. He was on the ground trying to engage in some grappling. Ali was punching. For me, that's mixed martial arts. It wasn't wrestling. It wasn't, it was multiple disciplines. So people say that was really the inception of mixed martial arts, or maybe it was the first time it was broadcast to a wider audience. But Bob Arum sadly is representative of a large portion of boxing in terms of the people who run boxing shows, the people who are the face of boxing for maybe governing bodies and stuff. They're kind of old school. They're out of touch and they're not willing to learn. They're not willing to listen. But then the flip side of that is, do I want to see Anthony Joshua v Stipe Miocic? Do I? Fuck. Do I want to see Michael Bisping v... Who was he trying to fight? Bellew?
Oh, Bellew. Fuck's sake.
I don't want to see any of that, so I'm not for it becoming like a thing.
This has to be a one-off circus-like event that I will 100% be watching. Like, for everything I've said about the fight, like I said, at first it kind of pissed me off. I felt like Conor's taking money, not Conor, well, yeah, kind of Conor taking money out of the sport. Like, you think if Floyd had given that money to a young up-and-coming fighter, I don't know, given an opportunity to a Spence, or I don't know, but it might have done the sport of boxing better. It may or may not have, whatever. Floyd's out for himself, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm cool with the fight now. The fight's happening. Let the fight play out how it's going to play out. But just don't be so ignorant, man. People, you don't have to understand it. That's fine. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. But you've got a guy who's made massive waves in the entire combat sports. You know what I mean? Combat sports as a whole has been turned upside down by this man in one way or another. Because people know who he is. You know what I mean?
I think the lucky thing for boxing purists, if you like, is no other mixed martial arts fighter would be able to generate the authenticity and the interest that Conor's generated anyway. Exactly. So Stipe Miocic coming over, actually nobody cares. Bisping coming over, he'll probably talk a lot of shit, but nobody cares enough to buy into that fight as a product. Conor's the only one that can do it. So that's a good thing. It's a one-off. I think it will be a one-off because of that, because nobody else could shift it. And I think just fucking let it happen, man. Let it happen. And I tell you, you'll be surprised at how competitive some of these rounds are.
Yeah, so give me your final prediction. We're here bitching about it. We've done predictions, but I put out my prediction today. I've been obviously going back and forth with it. I've decided I think Floyd's going to give us a round or two of entertainment, where he's going to kind of trade a little bit. And he'll probably feel a shot and be, you don't need to trade, fuck it. The next 10 rounds I'm going to school Conor McGregor in a boxing match. That's what I can see happening. Floyd giving us a round or two of a little bit of fun, where they sort of bang each other for a bit, and then Floyd goes, why am I risking this shit? I want to just box off the back foot for 10 rounds and beat him that way.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I could see Floyd losing maybe 2 or 3 of the first 4 rounds, just on pressure alone, not on quality of work. And output, I think Conor will have a decent output for 4 rounds, which is about 12 minutes, which is he's normally strong for 10 minutes in the cage anyway. And then I could see, I'm not saying I couldn't see Floyd stop him, because I could see Floyd maybe stop him just on accuracy alone. So I could see maybe 9th round, 10th round, John Kavanagh, Conor McGregor's trainer, just saying, listen, we don't need to be taking these shots anymore. Yeah. So I'm not against that happening. I could see maybe a late Floyd stoppage.
Yeah.
Or I could see a competitive first half of a fight, and then Floyd cruising to a victory, like you said yourself.
Yeah, I think you'll do extremely well to get Conor in a place where he no longer wants to carry on. You know what I mean? Because not only will he have a 10-second after every knockdown, whereas in his sport he's jumped on and mauled and his neck fucking ripped off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he'll. I think you're right. I think Kavanagh may save him from himself at some point. I take it John Kavanagh's got a boxing license, boxer's coach license. You know what I mean? Because he's an MMA trainer himself. So would he have had to get a new license? God knows. I don't know how all this shit works. Maybe Nevada just give him a little pat on the back and said, "Give us a little envelope on your way, son." That's exactly how it works.
That's literally how it works. I thought, I thought it was quite interesting that I respect, obviously, Conor's very loyal to John Kavanagh and the guys at Straight Blast Gym that he trains with, but I wondered, and I spoke earlier on to Martin from the New Age Boxing Podcast.
Friends of the show. We're friends of the show. They're in the top 6 boxing podcasts in the country, and they're good friends of ours, so yeah.
They're mates, so yeah. Whatever. Anyway, I thought it was quite interesting that he didn't go with he didn't bring in a boxing trainer, because I thought to myself, and I said to Martin, how much in terms of boxing tactics, boxing game plan, ring know-how and ringmanship, if you like, how much of that can John pass on? Because John's a grappler by trade. He was Ireland's first BJJ black belt. How much of that game plan could he pass on in a straight up boxing match? Yeah. So I don't know if that might play a part, and you might see Conor lose his way a little bit in there. But we shall see, my friend.
We shall see. Just finally, good thing that's come out of it. I'm no longer a Paulie Malignaggi fan, but
He's a prick, isn't he?
Whiny little bitch.
Such a prick. And then he goes, oh, well, I'll fight you on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Fuck off, mate.
Trying to stay relevant, are we, Mr. Melanagi?
Oh, I hate that guy.
Just stick to calling the fights, mate. You're very good at it.
Yeah. But it was before he got his face punched off.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our rant over.
We're done. We're done.
We're out.
Speak to you all on Sunday.